Welcome to the Omaha Magazine podcast. It's about all of us, where we highlight Omaha business and community leaders, arts and culture, and where to dine and play. I'm Gil Cohen, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Omaha Magazine. What does Hollywood and the big Hollywood studios offer that can't be done right here in Nebraska? On this episode, actor, director, producer Randy Goodwin joins us to share his mission on how to bring the movie spotlight to our great state. Welcome back to the show, and we're here with Randy Goodwin. Randy is an acclaimed actor and filmmaker. I think you're acclaimed, correct?
I claim it.
I think there are a few people in Omaha that would, and probably LA, that would do that as well. Randy's, like I said, is from Omaha. He's been acting for several years. Yeah. And has done everything from played Ahmad Rashad in the Michael Jordan movie to most recently, I think you were in Star Trek?
Star Trek Picard. Yeah.
Before we start, we can't light them up, but since you're in acting, you're used to props. This is one prop you can take home.
Yes, okay.
So, there's only three guests that I've had that we've done this with, and you're the third. So
awesome, thank you.
But you got to have something to hang on to. It'd be nice if they let us smoke in here, but they won't.
I can't even smoke in my office at the Blackstone.
So let's get back to you grew up in Omaha, and you decided, hey, I want to be in films. I want to be on TV. Didn't start out that way, did it?
No. I knew I was going to be an actor, and I knew I was going to be successful at it when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
I believe God built me for this. I mean, literally built me for this. The women, the drugs, the parties, none of that in Hollywood ever got my attention.
Right. Well, at 8 years old, you're a little young there.
No, I mean now.
Oh, now.
But for now, that's what I mean. My brothers would always say, dude, man, you were built for this. You can't even see these women coming after you. I go, well, I see them. I just don't care.
Yeah.
And I love women. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just not.
That's not what your mission was.
Right. And that's not how my parents raised me and my brothers anyway. Right. But I remember at 8 years old, I said, Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor. You can't be an actor. That's Hollywood. It's way out there. I remember this. It's way out there. It's corrupt. We're Nebraskans. We do practical.
Yeah.
In so many words. They kind of broke that down to me, and I go, yeah, I'm going to be an actor.
There's nothing wrong with having that the dream, and obviously it worked out.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it too. They, just like a lot of Midwest parents, look at what's going on in Hollywood. It is a corrupt place, very corrupt. And if you don't have your bearings, if you weren't raised with that moral fortitude, and you can enact that when you get older,
right? Man,
Hollywood will eat you up, spit you out. And that's why only 1% of 1% make a living doing it. Yeah. And I'm thankful that I'm one of the 1% that make a living doing it.
And you're not living out there full time.
As of 6 months ago, no.
Yeah.
I've been there 31 years.
You have the opportunity to come back to, I want to say, reality.
Yeah, right? Pretty much, yeah.
Living in Omaha and saying, okay, I'll leave. I'll go out there for work. This is my job,
yes.
Right? Go out there for work, do what I got to do, and then at the end of the day, punch out and get on a plane and come back to Omaha. And there's probably a lot more. And you have a lot. We'll talk about some of the other projects you're working on now too. But
somebody recently said something about, I think it was Nat Bernstein. Nat Bernstein and Mitchell Catlin are the creators of shows going all the way back to like the Gregory Hines show. Doogie Howser, they created stuff like that. We did a show in 2004 together, and we remained good friends. And he says, you are successful in Hollywood when you don't have to live here to do it. Mm-hmm. And I went, hey, I'm successful.
Yeah.
Because I'm back in Omaha.
Well, don't you think some of the celebrities out there, they're on the stage all the time, regardless of whether they're cognac.
Yeah, it smells good.
Infused.
It smells good.
Regardless of whether they're playing a part somewhere or they're on a TV show somewhere, but, just walking to dinner, going to Nate Now's for lunch or something like that. They're always in the public eye, and that's gotta wear on. I would think that lifestyle would wear on people after a while. It's like
My kids are very talented, and a couple of them have, when they were younger, they were in demand. And I remember my daughter, my teenage daughter, my Chastity, whenever we would go somewhere, she would go, Dad, we'd be at the mall. Dad, everybody's staring at us. And I go, I forget what I do for a living. I really do.
Yeah.
And I look over and I go, oh, I just wave.
Yeah.
And then we walk on, and then some people will come up while we're eating dinner and say, hey, can we get a picture? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, lean in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to eat my steak, but, you know. But for the most part, you know, I think what someone explained to me, they go, Randy, you are in the living room of these people weekly. So they are getting to know you, or they know you.
Yeah.
You don't know them, but they know you. So when you run into them, they feel like they're a friend of yours.
But they only know you from the role you play. They don't know the Randy Goodwin that I'd like to say I met.
Right.
You know,
This is true.
Or today, just having a regular conversation. Just
This is true. It is true. At the same
they
time,
know you as a whatever the role was.
but they don't decipher between the two.
Yeah.
They literally go, oh, I know that guy. And then I had a guy talk to me for 5 minutes. He knew things about, so I was just going, hey, and then I just went, I'm sorry, man, what is your name? And he said, I go, do I know you? He goes, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm a big fan. And I went, you could have started with that. We got 5 minutes in, and my brain is just racking going, who's this guy? He looks familiar, but everybody looks familiar when you met a million people, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so. I can imagine. What's been your favorite role in the last
favorite
20,
role?
years?
You know, I haven't done it yet because it's the stuff that I've written.
Okay.
Everything that I've done is on somebody else's show.
Right.
You know, CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, HBO, whatever. And there's some fun stuff.
Right.
I mean, if I can pick out of the stuff that I've done, I'd say the show Kevin Hill with Taye Diggs and John Seda is one of my favorites because I was a womanizer and I was...
was that a tough role to play?
It kind of was because it's so not me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in a sense where you do the part and you feel kind of slimy, you know, and I was just like, ah. But that and The Vampire Diaries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Jonas Martin, the Warlock, was one of my favorite. We just had a blast doing that one.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff. And everybody on the set, everybody was great. So
cool.
That's also a good one.
Moving ahead a little bit, conversation that we had a couple of weeks or so ago was about films in Nebraska, and for lack of a better term, the lack of films being produced here in the state for various reasons. What is it about Nebraska that there's several states that have demographics similar to us, Kansas, Oklahoma, South Dakota, North Dakota. What would interest a producer or a movie maker or filmmaker to come to Nebraska or specifically Omaha?
Well, the thing about Nebraska is whenever I bring someone here from Hollywood, they love the place. They fall in love with it. They want to come back, and most of them do. So all my friends that have come back and hang out with me. But when it comes to shooting, it was Billy Bob Thornton goes, well, y'all got a film incentive here? I said, no. He goes, oh, Randy, y'all need a film incentive. I go, I know, I've been working on it for 20 years. You know, and then 10 years ago, I got a team together and we got it done. But that was his point is no one's going to come and shoot here because there are other locations that have film incentives. Productions, especially Hollywood, they want the incentive.
Right.
They want to get a cash back.
Right.
They want their $10 million budget to be an $8 million budget. Then they get $2 million back, so they have a $12 million budget when it's all said and done that they can throw into their post-production and things like that.
Right.
So they want those. Now, me personally, being from Nebraska, knowing how awesome Nebraska is, I don't care if we have an incentive or not. I'm shooting here. Period.
Yeah,
we can still make money.
Yeah, you know the assets that we have here, and you know all the great things about the state. Obviously, because you grew up here, and what the state can offer to a production company. But you know what does the state need to do? I think we touched on this a little bit in our other conversation. Was what needs to happen at the state level in the legislature, the governor to incent people to come to the state to film movies.
Well, a little bit of it has already happened. 10 years ago, it's the reason I moved back here 6 months ago. Well,
Right.
I'm here 80% of the time.
Right.
I still got to be in LA a little bit.
We won't hold you to that.
But 10 years ago, Stacey Heatherly and myself were on the same mission when we met. And we put together a team. Dana Reeves, Ishma Valente, Kirk Zeller, Kayleen Carlson. And for 10 years, some of those other faces had changed, but Stacey and I remained vigilant, trying to get this incentive bill in place. And she was able to get the first in the state done in Fremont, Nebraska, where she lives.
Okay.
So they had an incentive there, but Fremont's not Omaha.
Right.
Right. We need the state. We need a state incentive instead of just the small towns having a little bit of money to say, hey, here, which is good too.
Yeah. And the demographics from the state are different from the eastern part of the state to the middle part of the state to the western part of the state.
Yes.
So you got to have, obviously it depends on the type of film they want to make. If it's a western type film, they probably want to do it out in Scotts Bluff somewhere. If it's more on the lines of, what was the movie that Matt Damon,
Matt came in and did with Alexander Payne's movie Downsizing.
Downsizing, yeah. If they want to do it in a city type atmosphere, obviously Omaha or Lincoln would make sense, but you have to have something that you have to have some kind of incentive that covers the whole state.
Yes,
depending on what they're doing.
Absolutely, and those locations would still benefit from it. So we definitely need it. Well, we got it passed. We got the first film incentive passed. The team from the Dig site and Fallen Giant Films.
And this was
about 6 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So the governor did sign it.
Oh, congratulations.
We were watching it while they were voting, but while they're voting, they kept taking our money down. Oh, 25, 60 mil, 25 mil. Oh, no. Oh, wow.
Now his budget
nothing.
This will air in March. Today is January 16th.
Yes.
So the budget just came out, I think yesterday, his State of the State address, and you verified that it's still in the budget, or?
Well, hey.
We hope so.
Governor Jim said the money will be there.
That's good.
He didn't say how much, but he said it will be there.
Be there.
But he also said it's one of his priorities. It was just the lowest of his priorities, which is still a priority. I'm okay with that. And Senator Rita Sanders, who was our bulldog, she's like my second mom, but she gets on my case all the time. Anyway, but she was very instrumental in helping us get this. Now, the people behind the curtain need to make sure that money's there.
Right.
Because if the minimum that they said would be there is there, man, we've got to start. We have a good start. And I'll be the first one to take advantage of a piece of it. And then I have a couple other producers that are ready to come in. They're just waiting.
Just waiting to see what they have to work with.
Yes.
Are there any particular types of movies that would work in Nebraska as opposed to having them filmed in Hawaii or California or Florida or New York City? Is there?
It doesn't matter where you shoot anymore because you can shoot. It's like The Mandalorian.
Okay.
That's not a real world.
Right.
Where are they shooting? They're shooting on a soundstage. That soundstage could be anywhere. It's an LED soundstage.
Yeah.
Which Fallen Giant Studios, which is what we're in the process of building, that will have 2 LED sound stages.
Oh, wow.
So it's just a matter of getting that incentive so that other people can come in because they'll take advantage of that easily because Nebraska is a great place. And the people who come here go, man, Nebraskans are just so nice. I go, yeah. So let's just shoot more here and let's help the young people stay here.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. Everyone leaves to try to make it, and very few. It's a very tiny percentage that actually make it.
Yeah. And I would assume that as you can get more movies filmed here, and it's probably not just movies, commercials, TV shows.
We're shooting a limited series right now.
Can you talk about it?
Nope.
Or okay,
can't talk about where it's going because it's hard. So just
That's okay. I didn't mean to cut you off guard.
As a model,
you brought it up though.
HBO could say, we want it.
Right.
Well, okay. And then I start talking about it in interviews, and then Netflix jumps in, and then Amazon Prime jumps in, and then Red Coral jumps in, and all these others are going, and then it doesn't end up on HBO.
Right.
So we don't really talk about the distribution of it until it's signed.
But what I was getting at is, we have, obviously there's theater and arts education at Creighton University and UNO, and that potentially would give those students an opportunity to interact with these film productions and get some real life experience, as opposed to trying to move out to California and start over, or, you know.
I'm not going to say I'm not a fan of the higher education facilities. It's just my way of educating people in film is hands-on.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always the best.
It's hands-on. We have a shadow program at Fallen Giant Films where even if right now, you wanted to be in the business and you showed that moxie, we're like, you know what? He wants to be a cinematographer, then he's going to shadow Gabe Bianzecchi, who I bring in from LA.
Okay.
Because I have to bring in people from LA to uplift the level of talent and professionalism. Yeah. And some people have gotten angry with me about that. Well, you're supposed to be using Nebraskans. We can't use Nebraskans who are not ready.
Yeah. Well, if the resource isn't adequate or there, it doesn't make sense.
What's the point? Yeah. It's a waste of time and money.
Yeah. And you would think that somebody coming up or wanting to learn that would want to learn it from somebody who's been doing it in that area, California or whatever, for several years.
You have to have somebody who has had their feet in it for a little bit. That's the only way the game can be elevated. And a lot of the crew here that I know personally have been very excited. And we've actually used several on some of the episodes we've already shot. And I love their comments. They're like, man, this was the most fun I've ever had on a film set. I didn't know you could have this much fun, laugh this much, and still get work done. Because usually, we're told to shut up and we need this and we need that. And I go, oh man, dude, I'm
a little more relaxed out here. Yeah.
I'm a guy who's been on the biggest sets out there, worked with the biggest people, who knows the biggest people, and I go to their sets and hang out.
Yeah.
And man, do I laugh. And I crack jokes and I mess up on camera on purpose sometimes just so we can have a fun blooper reel. And you don't know what I'm going to say when we're doing it, and it throws you off, and it's, we have fun.
Yeah.
Yes, money is involved and we don't want to waste it, but
you got to make it a fun atmosphere, and
it's
you got to make it more than just a job.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So let's move on a little bit. I know you're kind of involved in 88 Tactical.
Yes.
And explain for some of the viewers that might not know what 88 Tactical is. I'm aware of it, but you'd probably be able to explain it a lot better and what you guys are doing there.
88 Tactical is Shay DeGan's brainchild.
Right.
So Shay and I have been best friends for 44 years. We went to prep together. We've played many pranks on many people over the years. He's the one who got me into stand-up comedy in my early years. And he's hilarious. And I know he's going to see this and shake his head because he gets embarrassed when I say it. But if he would have gone to L.A. with me like he was supposed to, instead of meeting this girl, staying here.
It's always a woman
girl.
In
this
there.
is what they do to us. But he stayed. And if he would have gone, I won't say you never would have heard of Jim Carrey, but I'll say when Jim Carrey hit the scene, everyone would have said, man, that guy reminds me of Shay DeGan.
Wow.
That's how funny he is.
I didn't realize. I don't think I've ever seen him in action. So 88 Tactical is, the lack of a better term, it started out as a gun range.
Gun range.
Over on 370 and I-80 there. But there's a lot more than that. They have.
Yes, we are a destination now.
Yeah.
It started out and it was built in stages. And he had the first building built 2016. And that had 1, 2, It had member gun ranges upstairs,
Right.
and you could walk off the street, non-member ranges downstairs.
Right.
We have a 24-hour gym that has never closed since it's been open. 2 standalone saunas, showers, things like that. We have classrooms for classes, over 75 classes, from intro to handguns, threat assessment, edge blade class, Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I mean,
It's got full service restaurant and speakeasy.
Oh, yeah. See,
and the pro shop.
The restaurant is going on 3 years old now, and it's definitely it's 4-star restaurant. Our chef Marty is ridiculous. I'm sorry, Martin. No, we call him Marty, but it's funny whenever we do stuff because they just catered for me at an event I had at the Blackstone for my production company.
All right.
And it was phenomenal because I'm part of both places.
Right.
So I like to have 88 do a lot of stuff for us and with us, and then I try to do a lot of stuff up there. Like we shot some footage for this limited series we're doing right now at 88 Tactical.
Oh, cool.
Use the gym, use the ranges and things like that. But yes, we have the Top Golf Swing Suite. We have the my baby, the cigar patio.
Yeah.
And the cigar shop. The speakeasy is beautiful. I mean, it's a great place.
Yeah,
The
it's a lot of fun.
space.
Food is great.
Yes.
And like I said, the speakeasy, we've been up there a couple times to either see the Billy Joel guy or,
and everyone's awesome.
ones.
We've had John Daly come in and hang with us for 2 days. I mean, it's crazy who shows up, but I have a lot of friends who are coming in. I have Michael Jai White, who is a very well-known actor and martial artist.
Okay.
Who's going to come in and teach a class or two.
Oh, nice.
Because if you go online, you'll see he's got millions of followers, but he was an actor, as well. But he was a martial artist since he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So was I. I just didn't take it as seriously. He did. Well, I mean, he's ridiculous.
That's okay. You took other stuff seriously, right? And things are going okay, I'm assuming.
Can't complain.
You had mentioned a couple of times that your office is in a Blackstone building. How that whole building has changed now with Channel 6 being there on the ground floor and a new restaurant over there. And I believe there's going to be a barber shop and a detail place in the basement. And
Detail's down there. They detail my truck right now. The restaurant will be open February. I want to say February 6th. I just got back in town yesterday, and I walked into the building and I went, oh, "Is it open?" And Frank goes, "February 6th."
February 6th.
It's coming.
So by the time this airs, it will have been open.
Yes, that's awesome.
Go check it out. A lot of stuff going on in Blackstone now with the streetcar. I don't necessarily want to go down that road. We had that conversation with the mayor, but it's pretty exciting that whole district is kind of been revitalized. And
a lot of construction going on over there. Apartments going up, more restaurants. I love the fact that right across the street is one of my favorite hotels, the Cottonwood. Which is kind of funny because the switch is the building we're in, which is the Blackstone Plaza, used to be the Kiewit building.
Right.
And the Cottonwood used to be the Blackstone Hotel.
Right.
It is no longer that. It's now Cottonwood. And whenever
Kiewit had their offices in that hotel for a while, or part of their offices. So that hotel's got a pretty long history. Apparently that was the hotel, for those of you that may be watching this and aren't from Omaha or not in Omaha, that hotel was the supposedly where the Reuben sandwich was created.
There's also, is it Moon Shadows or there's something, there's another restaurant and Crescent Moon.
Yeah.
And one of my guys comes in and he's got the sandwich and we're talking about that and he goes, "Well, Crescent Moon says they invented it." So I had one from Crescent Moon and I had one from the Blackstone. It's the Blackstone. I mean, the Blackstone Hotel when it was. Oh my goodness, that is the best Reuben I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, supposedly it was created there. There's a guy in New York says he created it too, but apparently he's taking credit for everything.
Yeah.
So in the last couple minutes that we have this afternoon, is there anything that I've left out or anything you want to kind of talk to our readers, watchers, viewers, listeners about?
Well, I would just say we need we need more people to support the film industry here. I've had conversations with some of the big boys like Mike Yanni and others. And I always say, why? And we have a great arts community here.
Yes.
And I go, but
huge.
why do you have to give hundreds of millions of dollars in endowments to the arts every year? Well, because they need it. I go, but why? And I say this to all the big boys.
Right.
But why? Well, because they need it. And we need the arts. I go, yeah, but why do you have to give hundreds of millions of dollars every year to the arts? And I let it rest.
Right.
And then I go back and forth, and they get frustrated, and they go, well, Randy, this...
What are you getting at?
Well, because they don't... I go, say it. They don't make money.
Yeah.
I go, but the interesting thing is, this side of the arts does, film and television. But yet, none of you give us hundreds of millions of dollars where we can actually turn a profit.
Yeah.
And they
You're
look at me
an
the
ROI
same way.
on that.
Yeah, and they always go, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
They see film and television because of all the stars, the celebrities are making a lot of money. They're looking at the arts because they can get a big write-off. And I'm like, you can still get a write-off over here, but you can also get a return.
Yeah.
And the point of all those people doing stage is because they want to get over here where they can make a dollar. And that's my biggest point, and why I came home, is to help all of these talented people right here in Nebraska make a living doing what I do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful life. It is one of the most awesome things to be able to exercise your creativity in front of the world.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Every aspect of it. I write, produce, direct. I edit. I love doing it all.
You're all in. You're not just showing up as a job,
Right.
reading your script and clocking out and going home. You're obviously more involved in all the different aspects of of the business.
Because I could go back to LA and do this and make my money, do my shows.
Yeah.
But it was all about, well, what is my time in LA really doing for my friends and their kids and my family and their kids? And what about all the people that really want to do what I do that have asked me over the years, hey, how do I get into it?
Right.
And in 31 years, I've hosted over 1,000 people from Nebraska.
Wow.
In 31 years. Say like you would call me up and go, Randy, my nephew, my niece wants to be an actor. And, we know Hollywood's pretty crazy. Can you meet with her and talk to her? I meet with any Nebraskan, every Nebraskan who's ever come out that someone has called me about. Wow. Or they've reached out on Facebook and said, hey, I saw you're from Nebraska. I want to be an actor. I'm coming out to LA for 2 weeks to give it a shot. Wow. But 2 weeks isn't enough time.
Yeah.
If it's 2 weeks you're coming for, that's your vacation.
Yeah, you better make a commitment. If you're going to come out, it's going to be a year or more probably.
I tell them, you put a time limit on it, go home.
Yeah.
Because in 5 years, when you say, I'm giving it 5 years, if I don't make it in 5 years, I'm going home. Go home.
Go invest the 5 years doing something else.
Something else. This is a business you have to give your all.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to be broke for the rest of your life. Willing.
Yeah.
To be broke for the rest of your life, but you also have to be willing to put in the work.
Exactly.
For the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's got to be, it's a cool career. It's a very cool career.
Can be.
I would think.
It can be, yes.
This is as close to show business as I'm going to ever get to.
Hey,
doing these podcasts.
This is all a part of it. I mean,
You
without you guys, I mean, all we have is our shows, but we still have to promote them.
Right.
We still have to trailers for movies and TV shows, all that stuff. This is all that.
Yep.
We need it. It's all a big part of it. So thank you.
Well, yeah, no, Randy, thanks for being a guest this afternoon and bringing us up to date on what's going on. I take this and enjoy it later on.
I'm gonna enjoy it as soon as I get up to 88 Tactical because I have to put up the wind blockers for an event that's happening on Saturday on the patio because guys want to smoke cigars and it's gonna be 10
degrees.
Yeah, but we have heaters out there.
Oh, okay.
It's always pretty cool in the cold. The guys still come out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being our guest this afternoon. I really appreciate you giving us some insight as to what you've been up to and some of the insight as to hopefully creating more opportunities here in the state for producers to come in and film, whether they're doing it about Nebraska or they're just doing it in Nebraska. Sounds like it doesn't really make a difference as long as they're here doing something.
I'm about Nebraska, though.
Yeah.
So all of my projects have to do with Nebraska. I'm featuring Nebraska. That's my goal. Feature my hometown, my home state. So
that's a great state.
Thank you.
Randy, thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
You too.
Thanks.